We're moving into a dynamic Y raise with a mini band. So you want something on the lighter side of the resistance, standing comfortably on your mat, soft bend in your knees, and belly button drawn in. Having the mini band around your wrists, you're going to have your palms facing each other and open your arms up slightly wider than shoulder width. From here, keep your arms straight, raise it up overhead, hold, then press out a little bit more, come back to that slightly wider than shoulder width, and release back down. Repeat that movement for 1 minute. So take your time, raise up with control, squeeze out, come back to that original spot, and release. You really want to focus on keeping that pressure pressed out against the band. So we're focusing on strengthening the outside of the shoulders, the front of them from lifting, and this is also really good for shoulder mobility, keeping those arms straight and raising it right up overhead. All right, and time's up. Relax back at center. We're moving into a standing chest stretch. So you're going to lace your fingers behind your back, roll your shoulders down and back, create tension between your shoulder blades, and gently lift your arms up. You are also going to take your wrists and pull them outward, creating more of a stretch on the outside of the arms. We're going to hold here for 20 seconds. All right, go ahead and release. Now you're going to lace your hands the opposite way, so the other thumb is on top, and come back into that same position, holding for 20 seconds. So really feeling a stretch and open up into the chest and the front shoulder. All right, time's up. Relax back at center. We're moving into a bear step. So you're going to come into tabletop position on your mat, having your toes tucked under. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. From here, lift those knees just slightly so you're hovering above the ground. You're going to take your opposite hand and foot, taking a small step forward, back to where you started, and then repeat on the other side. We're going to alternate for a total of 45 seconds. So your goal here is to try to stay in a very still tabletop position. So to try to keep your hips level, your back flat as you alternate with those steps. So by focusing on keeping the hips even, it's really good for the stability muscles in the pelvis and alongside the core. At any time you need to, you can drop to your knees, take a little break, and press back up when you're ready. All right, time's up. Come back to center on your mat. We're moving into a downward dog sequence. You're going to start in a plank position, so hands underneath your shoulders, up on the balls of your feet. From here, press your heels down and your hips up. Let your head come between your arms. Then we're going to alternate, pressing one heel down at a time for 30 seconds. So really shifting that focus from one hamstring and calf into the other. All right, from here, shift your weight back into that plank, hold for a second, then we're just going to press both heels down at the same time and settle in for another 30 seconds. So just focus on pressing those heels down as much as you can. All right, time's up. Go ahead and come back to center on your mat. We're moving into a prone head lift. You're going to lie on your belly and stack your forearms on top of one another. From here, rest your forehead on your top arm, tuck your chin to your chest, lift your forehead slightly off, and then return back down. Repeat this movement for 45 seconds. And it just has to be a little lift. Focus on squeezing the back of the neck, pause when it's up, and then return. All right, time's up. Come back up to center on your mat. We're moving into a tabletop rotation. So tabletop position on your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Go ahead and let your feet relax. From here, tuck your hips under, belly button drawn in, so your back is neutral. You're going to raise one arm up and rotate throughout it just as far as you can. Pause, come back to neutral, and switch to the other side. We're going to alternate for 1 minute. With your rotation, I want you to watch that it's coming from your back and you're not letting your hips move or rotate. So just do that spine, pull, and then come back. So we're really trying to squeeze that shoulder blade back, open up in the chest, as well as creating mobility in the spine. All right, time's up. Come back to center on your mat. We're moving into a runner's lunge. So coming into position, you're going to plant one foot in front and fully release that other one back as far as you can for what feels comfortable. Foot is relaxed and knee is on the ground. Both hands are planted on the inside of that front foot, and we're going to hold here for 45 seconds. So you should feel a big stretch throughout the hips and the groin, that back leg hip flexor. If you want, you can slightly lean onto that leg and press it out a bit, then come back to neutral if that feels good, or you can stay right in center. All right, time's up on that side. Go ahead and switch. And holding for 45 seconds. Again, if it feels comfortable, feel free to press that front leg out and kind of rock side to side, or stay exactly as you were. All right, time's up. Come back to center on your mat. We're moving into a prone external rotation. So taking a mini band, light to medium resistance, and placing it around your feet. From there, you're going to flip over onto your belly, stacking your arms or however is comfortable for your upper body. Having some space so there's tension on the band, balls of your feet are tucked under and legs are straight. From here, you're going to rotate your heels, pressing them out, then back to neutral, repeating this movement for 45 seconds. So keeping your feet in the position they are and just rotating those heels, pressing against the band. So your focus is going to be to feel it into the sides of the glutes. All right, time's up. So come on back up, remove the band, and back to center on your mat. We're moving into a dynamic pigeon stretch. So coming onto your mat, you're going to tuck one leg underneath and then let the other one extend out, top of your foot facing down. You're going to start nice and tall. So tall in that torso, sitting those hips down, hands are tight to your body. From here, walking your hands out as far as you can. So the further out, it's going to increase the stretch. So find your maximum, hold for a second, and then come back up nice and close. So you're just going to alternate stepping your hands out and back up for 45 seconds. So you should be increasing the stretch when you're stepping them out, letting more weight forward, and then lessening the stretch when you're coming upright. And just go at your own pace. All right, time's up on that side. Go ahead and switch. Coming into position and repeating that pattern for 45 seconds. All right, time's up. Come back to center on your mat. Next, we're going to roll out the quads. So grabbing your foam roller, on this one, you're going to alternate between rolling out the inside of your quad and then having the foam roller straight on and then slightly to the outside. And you're just going to alternate kind of between those three positions at your own pace as we're rolling up and down. So you're going to come into position, placing the roller just above the knee on your forearms for support, and you can have that other leg planted as well. So from here, you're just going to pull and press your body forward and back to roll out that quad for 45 seconds. So again, you're making those rotations to the outside, the middle, and the center at your own pace, making sure you're stopping just below the hip and just above the knee. All right, time's up on that side. Go ahead and switch. And same thing, 45 seconds. All right, time's up. Come back up to center and relax on your mat. That's all for today's routine. We'll see you back here tomorrow.